Somebody has joined two platforms, sir. I think so. So sound is bouncing.
Echo is there. So if somebody has opened two platforms, kindly mute your audio.
Okay. Shall I start, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir. Please carry on. Yes, sir. Carry on.
Again, thank you so much, Mr. Satyama, for giving this great opportunity to welcome this today's session resource person, Mr. S. Srinivasan. So again, I am very happy to introduce our today's resource person, Mr. S. Srinivasan, who has more than 9 years of experience in IT and cyber security, retail industry, e-commerce, banking and financial insurance sectors, application security, infrastructure security, PCI, PADSS auditing, and also has experience in vulnerability assessment and the penetration testing for infrastructure, web mobile applications, and had some experience on network, VAPT, and the infrastructure security assessment. Good knowledge of security standard like OWASP, top 10 vulnerabilities for web and mobile. Coming to his education qualification, he has completed his master's degree in the subject computer technology from the University Satyabama University Chennai from the year 2007 to 2012. He plays a several role and responsibility in security architect such as advisor, senior client management on security risk, consultant facilitate delivery of information security, strategic goal and initiative for clients, assist in the evolution of overall risk for IT systems including data, accounting for people, process and the technologies that provide security controls. Provide security architecture and advice in support of application development, infrastructure, and enterprise technology projects. Maintains an expert knowledge in the field of information security and the related issues, systems, processes, products, and services. Providing training and mentoring to client and consulting resources. So he was previously working as a test engineer in Pavitra Solution as a subsidiary of Yalamanchili, Chennai from January 2013 to April 2014 and a security specialist in Cognate Technology Solutions, Chennai from May 2013 to November 2016 and lead consultant information security and cyber security in Vishwa, Chennai from March 2018 to April 2019. Currently, he is working as a senior information security specialist in Amex Technologies, Chennai. Now, I invite Mr. A. Srinivasan to share his expertise in the field of on the topic cyber security industrial perspective. Please, Mr. Srinivasan, please take a step over your session.
Thanks, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to thank first Jayapriya ma'am for giving this opportunity. She followed me last 2 months before itself, and he got a slot on this day. And I was a regular person to Manonmani in Sundaranagar University. So I know very well about Mr. Kumar sir and Jayapriya madam and even also the Krishnan sir. So thanks for giving this opportunity. So today I'm going to talk about the cyber security on an industrial perspective. So before going to the topic, I like to give some thoughts on the difference between the cyber security and the information security. So hope so everyone in the background of information security or cyber security or from the who are in the college professional professors, so who have already have a knowledge in both information security and cyber security. So let me share my screen. Is it visible to everyone? So, as per the topic, cyber security industrial perspective, before I'm getting into the topic, uh, again, someone have enabled the two devices. I'm getting in it. Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, so before getting into the topic, I just want to know what is the basic difference between the cyber security and the information security. If anyone knows, you can raise your hands, or you can just simply in the chat, or if you want me to answer, then I can start proceed this action. Because if we know this this difference between cyber security and information security difference, so that this topic and this information what I'm going to provide would be very easy to understand, and that's why we are getting into the topic first before getting into the cyber security industrial perspective. So I want to be this session to be an interactive one, because wherever I'm going, I will take the session in an interactive way. So everyone should be an active to attend the session. Yes, I got some message. Okay, protecting the data from outside the resource on the internet. Okay, okay, that is cyber security. Viral Patel. And what about information security? Okay, so let me start with the basic difference between cyber security and information security. On a simple term, cyber security is more into a live practical attack or defense of the organization. For example, if it is a college, or if it is in a software industry, or if it is in an automobile industry, whatever it is, whatever the data or whatever the information we are having, somebody tried to access the data, or somebody tried to hack the entire system of the company data. So from that perspective, if you are going to safeguard the data and if you are protecting the data, then that should be called as cyber security. What about the information security means? So information security and cyber security both are related together, and information security is also protecting a data on the college or automobile industry or whatever industry. But information security is something like a standard or a set of rules or procedures that we need to follow on the company or in the college to protect our data. On a simple term, cybersecurity is a practical live hacking, whereas information security is a kind of an audit. So audit in the sense it is fully documental or contain standard step-by-step procedures to be followed on the college or whatever the industries. So now we are going to see the cybersecurity industrial perspective. So I will cover these topics, 5 topics: introduction and a historical perspective on cybersecurity, different cybersecurity industries and standards. When we talk about standards, procedure, policies, that will related to, or that means it is an information security. So here we are going to see the different cybersecurity industries and different information security industries, various technologies and frameworks that we are going to use on the cybersecurity industries or information security industry, whatever it is, and the conclusion. Okay, so and also we will cover how to identify the vulnerabilities and approaches to building a more secure systems. Identifying a vulnerability is a cybersecurity space, whereas approach to building a more secure systems is more into a information security space. Okay, which means we are going to see a lot of industries or domains on the cybersecurity perspective. On those domains, we will have a deep dive on how to identify a vulnerability on those domains or the industries. Also, we will find out how to build a more secure systems on those domains or industries. Okay. So on an introduction, so previously, very long ago, if we take an example of software industries, everyone will see about their given importance to the product development or project or the marketing team to establish their business in the market. But nowadays, to establish, even though they have established the business, they have to maintain the business in the market. To do that, they have to be sustained in the market without their product or project should not be hacked in the market. For example, we can take a Manonmayam Sundaranaar University. Okay, I know that college is a very good government aided college, and the students are getting into and passed out of the college are now it's placed in a very good standards, and they have their own portal was designed for establishing or publishing their results on a semester and daily basis. So the persons who are studying on their university, what they will do, they will try to hack their websites and try to take their informations and sell it in the market. That is kind of an activity. It's also been happen in the software industries or even medical side, like a hospitality side. So kind of all the product, or as in the real world, if we have a hero, we have anti-heroes. So kind of, if we have a defender, someone have an attacker would be there. So we call it as a red team and a blue team. So red team, the persons will act as a black hat hackers, as the blue team or purple team will act as a defender. So the blue team, which is something like a person who will be on the company or on the college or on the hospitality side, and they will protect and defend their data from the outside hackers. So that's what. So before 10 years or 20 years back, people will not entertain the cybersecurity, and they will not invest zero amount on spending a cost on the product or project to defend from the cyber hackers. But nowadays, they are started investing amount in the cybersecurity space. That's why the cybersecurity field is on the booming side. When compared to data science, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity is also a booming technology, and it should be compulsorily available on all level of industries in the world. So that's what. So in the previous history, if we take in a history, 1975, we built a system and we will prove it secure and will be done. So which means we develop and we will say by orally our system is very secure and we will go for it. After 1985, we have the government evaluate our product based on the standards like ISO 27001, or we can say NIST standard, whatever the standards. Based on the standards, they will evaluate. For example, if you take an automobile industry, the cars which was designed by the automobile industries like Maruti or even Audi or BMW, that will be tested by the government, and they will give a certification that this car is evaluated and it is very safe for the end users. After a certain period of time, the company or the industry started securing by themselves using some firewalls and antivirus and other protection mechanism from the outside hackers. That was built on earlier 1993 onwards. And after that, 1993, company is protected on by themselves. Now the patches means the vendors, Microsoft, IBM started giving a patches for the identified vulnerabilities to patch it and make them products to be secure on their vendor side or client side. That was happened in 1999. Starts from that, and 2002 onwards, the cybersecurity market is started in a booming way. So whatever you are developing, for an example, simple a college website to the very large complex banking solution softwares, all are integrated into a secure development process from the 2002 onwards. And 2009 onwards, our development process, after the development process, that our software will be hosted in cloud or in some sort of servers, in a web server and app server. That server itself started analyzing their vulnerabilities to issue the patches and build a secure firewall, antivirus, and many more things to protect the websites. And now 2021, now we are doing a very advanced level of information security and cyber security in our companies, which means we have integrate the cyber security in the development pipeline, which means some developer is developing an application and they will move the codes to the repository, which means GitHub, or we can say the some sort of storage mechanism. They will push the code to that. From that place onwards, till the application is hosted in the cloud or on-premise solution, we will do a end-to-end security mechanism was placed to protect the website from the day one to the live mechanism. Kind of now the 2021 is a fully integrated end-to-end a cyber security, or we can say a security pipeline called CI/CD mechanism was developed to take care of the development code and also the hosted infrastructure system as part of the infrastructure as a code review process. Okay, so these are the generic things that we know about the current cybersecurity strategy or historical perspective of cybersecurity. So yes, before going to the next slides or next content, I just want to know any questions or any anything need to be asked from my side. Please state your questions in the message so that I can answer your questions also. Okay, so now before going to the next slides or next topic, I just want to know what are the domains, what are the industries that the audience or the people you know about as of now nowadays. If for example, software industries, we know the education industry or education domain. Kind of what are other industries or domains that you know? Just ping me in the message so that I can easily to start and get into those domains in deep actually. Medical, yes, it's a good one. It's an kind of hospitality. The medical means hospitality domain or hospitality industries. Is anything? What are the ways to secure a server? Yes, sir. So the server, the ways to secure a server. For example, if you have a laptop or server, laptop, desktop, yes, automobile is a very good industry. It is also a booming one. Okay, back to the question, secure a server. It's a laptop or desktop or server, all are similar together only. If it is a high configuration, we call it as a server. And if it is internet facing or internet facing, we call it as a server. If you are going to use the individual by a person, we call it as a desktop or a laptop. To secure that server or a laptop, we have to make the system up to date. For example, if you have installed Windows OS 10, then you have to update the Windows OS at least a monthly once. to avoid a security attack or security breach or malware to be installed on your system. Also, you have to install an antivirus on your system. That's the second thing. The third thing, apart from this, you have installed a lot of softwares on your laptop or machines or in a service. For example, Microsoft MS Office is itself a software, Adobe is a software, and also some audio softwares we will install, and other VLC is also a software. Take it as an example of VLC. If you people in the olden days, what we will do, we will take a backup. For example, if you take a mobile is also one of the device. Okay, what we will do, we will take a backup of APK also, and once we do a factory reset on our mobile, we will do whatever the backup APK we have taken, we will do install on the same APK. That's what we will do in the olden days. Now everyone have a very speed high internet, and we have a nearly per day 10 GB kind of a thing, but previously we don't have that facility. So we will take a backup of APK also. Once we have did a reset, we will install the olden APK. That olden APK or software VLC that have inbuilt vulnerability or a problem or issue that would be there. So for that also, the patches will be released from the respective vendors. If it is a VLC will release. If it is a Microsoft will release. So accordingly, you have to be updated. Like us, what we are doing, we will upgrade and update us to the current technologies and the current market standards. So kind of we have to update our PCs, laptop, servers, even a mobile device also to the updated one to avoid this kind of a malware attack. That is a question for Srinivas Rao. Answer for your question, Srinivas Rao. Okay, going back to the topic, the different industries. Okay, what about zero-day attacks? Okay, the word zero-day attacks, which means I will take it to a simple and a layman concept. Okay, every day you are cooking one same type of food. Okay, and every day you are finding out something is missed out. Okay, then that should be a problem and that should be a vulnerability. Okay, which means the salt was small amount was missing on that food. That should be a normal one. It's happening, or we can say that it is a vulnerability that was available on that from the so long day. But on the special day, if you find out there was a spicy is also missing, that is called a zero-day vulnerability. Which means if you have a software and it was not updated properly, and if you are going to update it, you will get all the previous vulnerability patches to you and you will update it. But on the day, someone will identify a new vulnerability and they will post the vulnerability to the respective software industry. If it is a VLC or Microsoft, they will post it. We get a good example. Most of us here, last 2 to 3 weeks before, an Indian girl and identified a vulnerability on Microsoft, and she was awarded for a 22 lakhs or 20 lakhs on finding a new vulnerability. Finding a new vulnerability on their software is called as zero-day attack or zero-day vulnerability. Okay. So again, back to topic. Different industries. Dinesh. Okay, fine. Okay, back to the topic. Different industries. Okay. So these are the different industries, but not limited to, because I have somewhat directly or indirectly, I have worked on these industries out of 9+ years of experience. Aerospace is a industry. Computer and software designing. Computer and software means Microsoft is a software, computer software. Okay, that is, it's called as a computer and software industry. Banking and financial, which means wherever you that our HDFC mobile banking apps and all the apps are into a banking and financial industry. Those who are designing that app, we will call it as a banking and financial industries. Education domain. For example, nowadays we are creating an app for the education. For example, to the colleges and schools, nowadays everything is online. So we have to start taking a class virtually. To take the class virtually, we are designing a software. So whenever we are developing a software for the colleges or schools or for the research, then we call it as an education domain. And telecommunication, 4G, 5G technologies, we call it as a telecommunication domain. Industrial and manufacturing, it's a very, very big industries or domain, we can call it as. It will start from an automobile, and we can call it as whatever the water power plant and whatever the other raw products which was developed on their industry side. We call it as an OT or IIoT industries. It's a kind of nowadays in evolving technology called IoT, Internet over the thing, or OT technologies. That is also a industry. And the next one is hospitality and healthcare. That is, it's one of the industries. Food safety. Many of us know the food safety, and many of us don't know what is food safety industries. In Tamil, if you have seen a movie called Aruvam, then the food safety department, what they are doing and what are the standards they are following, then you can easily understand what food safety will do. And there, and if you, to the simple and layman, if you go and see any of the product which you are getting from the glossary items, even a Britannia or a Maggie, on the big end you can able to see FSI, so Food Safety Authority of India. So that is called a food safety. In that industry is also cyber security would be there. For example, a machine which will do automatically take some amount of wheat, and it will take some amount of water and some amount of some other mixtures, and it will do the mixture and it will give a raw product to the company. That kind of automated machine, and if a hacker is trying to do some modification on the mixture level, then that product will not be come to a proper or a good one. So in that state, for example, we can take it as an example of Maggie. For the Maggie, there was a competitor in the market. So what the competitor will do, they want to try to demolish the Maggie or Nestle product in the market. For that, what they will do, they will, as in the movie, so they will send some person inside the company and they will do some kind of a hacking, and they will do some modification on their automated machine to produce a non-quality product to be delivered to the market. If the quality was missed, then their market will be demolished. So that is also a kind of hacking. So that is also a part of a cybersecurity industry. The same e-commerce. E-commerce in the simple term, Flipkart, Amazon, whatever the online purchase you are doing, that is a e-commerce domain. So all these respective industries, they have a respective standards, which means whatever the hacking we are doing on these industries, we call it as a cybersecurity, and whatever the standards we are going to follow on these industries, we call it as a information security. For example, HIPAA, hospitality. This is more into a hospitality and healthcare standards we need to follow. For example, in a hospitality, what we will think. For example, nowadays people are feeling shy that they have some problem inside with us. For example, at 23 age of people nowadays have a diabetic problem. So they will go to a hospital and they will see a doctor, and they feel that they don't want to establish the problem with him or her to the outside world. To protect this type of data, that hospital have to maintain or they have to follow a standard to take a data privacy, or they have to protect their the patient's data, they have to follow the HIPAA standard. HIPAA is something like a international standards. For example, if you are go to a US and other countries, everyone knows that what medicine the doctor is prescribed, they will tell to the patient that this medicine have these side effects, and also this will cure this type of issues, and also we will protect your data without losing the integrity of the data to the market, which means they will not share a single information about the patient to the market. That's what they will give an assurance to the patients. That kind of standards will be followed in the hospital, means then call it as a HIPAA standards. Okay. And when we talk about PCI DSS and PA DSS, which means Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard and Payment Application Data Security Standards, which means payment. The word itself will give an answer. It's more into a banking, financial sectors, and other related items. For example, if you have a credit card, and if you are going to use a credit card in IRCTC website, especially that IRCTC website was developed by previous company called FSS, Financial Software and Systems. Whenever you go and do the payment on the last page, you are entering your card detail and the CVV, you can able to notice that it was being tested PCI DSS and certificate, and it was being developed by FSS company name. So when I was in that industry, I have to follow these standards, PCI DSS and PA DSS standards. Standards to be followed when we are developing an application, which means whatever the information you are providing on the last page of ticket booking, card number, CVV, or your PIN, that your mail ID and mobile number should not be relieved or shared to any other company. That's what that standard will tell to us. So as a company, we will follow that standards, and we will, whatever the data we are getting from you as a end user on the portal, we will save those data in the form of encryption or hashing technology. So everyone is from the background of technology and teaching professionals. So everyone knows the cryptographic functions. So whenever we are dealing with the sensitive informations, what we will do, either we will store in the database in the form of encryption or in the hashing. Okay, this is one of the standards we will follow in the banking industry. So kind of there was some national standards are available in the market, and other international standards also available. So for colleges, we will follow, you will get a certification, AACET or some other certification we will get from the Board of Council, Education Board of Council, to prove that we are the market leading colleges and kind of. Sorry, anyone have anything to discuss? Okay, so these are the standards, international standards, ISO 27001, 20002. These are the standards we will follow in all type of industries and also related to these industries. Okay, before moving to the next slides or content, if you have any questions, please post me so that I will answer and I will move to the next stage. Any questions? Sure, sir. I will share you the slides. I have already shared those slides to Jayapriya ma'am and also to Krishnan sir.
Sorry, sir. Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Sorry, sir. Actually, slides are not clearly visible right now. So I think you have not shared your screen with the whole.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So there is. Okay, just take it out, sir.
Let me check once again.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. I will stop sharing. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is clearly visible right now. Thank you so much, sir.
Sorry. Actually, so I don't know where I was missed actually. So let me just go through from the first onwards for your just a quick go through. So this is the first page. So our topic, and these are the topics I am going to discuss today: introduction, historical perspective, different cybersecurity and industry standards, various technologies and frameworks, and conclusions. And at the end of this session, so we will cover how to identify a vulnerability on some of the specific domains, and also how to secure that industry is our domain. And so on the introduction, so how we have evaluated the cybersecurity from before 20 years or 30 years, and now how we are seeing these industries, cybersecurity in the industries from 1975 to 2021. That was I have discussed with you. So now in 2021, everything is in a CAC pipeline, which means continuous integration and continuous development or deployment, we can say. So one second. Okay. So this is the 2021 current stage of cybersecurity evaluation, and this was the industries which we have discussed a few minutes back. So like different industries and different standards that will be followed on the respective industries. As I said, HIPAA is a standard we will follow in food and hospitality. PCI DSS and PADSS, those standards will be followed in banking and financial sectors, and national standards are there, and also international standards also there. So it's the same as I conveyed previously for a minute. For colleges also, we will have some standards to be followed. If you are following the standards, then we will get an aggregated certification that our college is a market leading college, or we can say that it's a leading college to get a graduation kind of a thing. So so this is the basic difference between the what are the different cybersecurity industries, and what are the different standards we are following on the industries on an information security perspective. Okay, so if you have any questions up to this, please let me know so that I can answer and I can able to go to the next slides. Who does the certification? Okay, there should be a certification authority board would be there. For example, for HIPAA, I just Google it and I will show you. HIPAA security and privacy. For this HIPAA and security, there should be a board called HIPAA security standards and privacy rules. So whenever we are developing the software for the hospitality, we have to follow the standards what the HIPAA stated, and that will be audited by the market leading auditing companies like KPMG or PC, we can say the big four companies: KPMG, PwC, EY, and also our company right now, I was working in a company called Amix Technologies. We are also giving a certification for the e-commerce based development sectors. So what we are doing is actually we are developing a software for the e-commerce websites. For example, our recent websites are informal. This is one of the websites we are designing for our clients. So this website is designed on the rule of e-commerce standards. So whenever we have developed, we have to internally, as I told you in the initial stage of discussion started today, there was two type of hackers in the world. One is white hat hackers, which means the people already available on the company and they will work for the company. I'm a white hat hacker community. What I will do, whatever the product or project or website, whatever it is, before it is going to market from my company, I will do the testing, and once the testing is done, I will send it to my information security team. Each and every company, there will be two teams would be there. One is cyber security team, another one is a information security team. Information security team will do a internal audit, and they will take the product or project or the website to the certificate authority board, and they will state that we have internally tested and we have followed these standards, and we have the process and policies are in place or followed for developing the website or the product. So what the certification, for example, KPMG, or for us, KPMG, EY, and PwC, they will cross verify all the data, whatever we are used for developing this website. They will cross verify it, and they will give a certification to us that this website is certified and does not relieve any sensitive customer data to the market or to the internet. Am I answered to your question, sir? Is it clear? Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. I hope the slide is visible to everyone. If it not, please tell me. And whenever the slide is not visible, or whenever you have a questions, you can message, or also you can stop me and you can raise your voice and say that the slides are visible, or I have some queries on the particular slides or the topics which was discussed. So the same kind, I can speak about the slide in a very layman term. Now you have invest some sort of amount to make awareness about the cyber security standards and policies, and how the cyber security is being in the market. So you have spent some amount for this to organize this kind of an webinar or activity. So kind of all the companies will invest some sort of amounts for the cyber security and also the information security. So these slides will speak about what much of amount and how they are protected on the market, and how much amount they are spending for their development, or they are secure their environment. For example, this is well protected area, and this is unprotected area, and this is the median range. Okay, so some bank we have marked as a green one. So most of the banks are well protected area. They will spend more and more amount on protecting their data before going to live or sending into the market. For example, in our IT industries, we are developing a software for a banking. What we will do, we have 4 stages would be there, which means development stage, QA stage, and pre-production stage or stage environment, and then live. Okay, on the development stage, development team will develop that application and they will do their own testing on their functionality and other things. On the QA people, quality assurance people, will do the quality related testing on the product. On the stage only, the cybersecurity team will do a cybersecurity activity, and also once these 3 stages is passed, it will move to the live environment, which means it will come to the end user or the market to people access the website in the internet, like a google.com or facebook.com. Facebook also have a website called a beta.facebook.com. So very recent, the girl who hacked or find a vulnerability in India and got a 20 lakhs, that girl identified a vulnerability on the beta stage or stage environment or pre-prod environment on that environment. Then that issue was fixed and then it was moved to the production live environment. If it is moved before fixing the vulnerability to the live environment, then the data leakage or data breach would happen. For the data breach or data leakage, in India, we are not paying anything to the government. But in Europe and US countries, if some data breaches is happen, that banking industry or hospitality or health industry or automobile industry, they have to pay more amount, nearly whatever the what we say, yearly revenue, whatever the revenue they are getting on the yearly, they have to pay the entire amount to the government for the data breach or data activities. Okay, to compensate the people's data. For example, in automobiles industry, if someone is trying to hack the Audi or BMW cars, nowadays the cars are also automated, fully automated. We can sit outside of the car and we can able to switch on the ACs and we can do the pressure check on the tires and everything. So if someone is do a hacking on their infrared signals or on the Bluetooth signals, for example, you and me are sitting in the next to next, and if you're operating your car over the mobile using a Bluetooth signal or an infrared signal or some other radio frequencies, and if I'm able to track that frequency and if I'm able to modify the data and if I'm able to show the bad response to you, for example, if your car have a very good pressure on your tire, but I have modified and if I show you it was very low pressure, so based on the information, what you will do, you will make it make the pressure high, and if you are going on the road because of the high pressure, the tire will get damaged and you will face a accident. So this will also called as a cybersecurity hacking on the automobile industries. So my previous company name called Value. Value is an automobile industry. It's a giant in the automobile industry, I can say. So all over the world, they are creating from the small product from the wiper, from the back camera or the side mirror to the large product on the ECs, motherboards, on the cars, they are developing. So on that company, I have worked and I have created a cybersecurity hacking lab to hack the cars before it is moving to the market. So this is the kind of how much they are spending on the market, so how much spending on the cybersecurity on different markets based on their client data and the sensitive informations. So banking, healthcare, and other industries are well protected because they are investing more amounts on the cybersecurities and they are well protected. This was taken around the year of 2019 or 2018. This is a current market industries cybersecurity trends. Our trend, we can say that company spending on cybersecurity does not necessarily correlate with the level of protections, we can see. Okay. Moving on to the next slides. Yes, as I told you, we'll go deep dive into some domains, especially and their standards. So I have worked in this kind of industries out of my 9 years of experience. Around near 6 to 7 years, I can say that I was worked for banking and finance and e-commerce, because banking and finance is related to all the industries. For example, if it is a automobile industries, they have their own online page to purchase the car on their websites. For example, if you are going to, nowadays everything is online because of the COVID-19. If I'm going to purchase a Kia car, I have to go to the website of Kia and I have to choose the car. If I have did already all the checks over the showroom, I need not to go to the showroom and I have to do the payments over the cash or check. So what I will do, I will go to the online portal and I will do the select the car and I will do the make a payment. So kind of the banking and financial domain would be there. The pages would be there in all sort of industries, even hospitality and healthcare also. If you visited the doctor and if you got the medicine prescription, everything, and you have a page to pay the bill amount, and you will get the receipt for the same. So kind of banking and financial is a very big and it's a very good domain from my perspective, because all the 9 years I have worked near 6 to 7 years in the banking and financial sectors. And right now I was working in e-commerce, and when I was in a Cognizant, I have worked for the hospitality and healthcare for the market, US leading market hospitals. And industrial and manufacturing domains, as I told you previously, I have worked for the company called Valeo. They are into an automobiles. That automobiles is also comes under the industrial manufacturing domain. Okay, so let's go to the deep dive onto the banking and financials. What we will cover in all the next 4 slides. What is the best practice, and what are the things we need to follow on those industries to make the client data safe and secure. This is what we are going to discuss on the next 4 to 5 slides. Okay. I will not take much time on those 4 slides. It's a very simple concept. I will go through each and every 7 points in a minute or 5 minutes, and I will not make you bored for a so long time. Okay. So assess a risk. Assess a risk means everyone, if you are the background of cybersecurity, everyone knows the concept called risk, threat, and vulnerability. Okay. When we are, before going to develop the product, or before we are going to do a discussion of the product, what we will do, we will create some sample diagrams, or we can say that blueprint. Based on the blueprint, we will assess the risk. For example, if you are going to build a house, what we will do, we will set the very strong main door and very strong the back door. So, and also we will put in each of the rooms, we will put some doors. Even though if we have developed a very strong main door and back doors, we will more conscious on the room doors, because we will keep our all the luxurious things on the room. So kind of what we will do, we will assess the risk on which area we need to put what kind of a locking mechanism and what type of doors we need to put it on. And the continuous user, the second point, continuous monitor user activity, which means a mom in each and every home, a mom will continuously monitor everyone. Even though she is doing their daily activity, she will monitor everyone's. Is they doing any mistakes, or other people will go in the wrong way or not? Kind of in IT industries also, we have a continuous monitoring system called 24/7. For example, we have a website, college MSA University website. If someone is going to do an attack on the website on the time of result publishing time, then the website will comes down and no one can able to see the results. So to avoid that, we have to continuously monitor the website status and make it available on the need of time. So that is called a continuous monitoring, user activities or the website activities or whatever it is. Encrypt the valuable data. As I told you in the previous discussion, the card number, CVV, PIN, and other sensitive information, we will encrypt and we will store it on the database. Whereas the password and other sensitive information like tokens and other things, we will do a hashing. So this hashing, encryption, decryption, encoding, decoding, all under comes up a cup of cryptographies. Okay. And the fourth thing is manage a third-party related risk. Okay. Third-party risk. Again, I will come to the simple example. Even though we are mom is doing making a sambar or whatever it is, we will buy some spicy items in the market like achi masala or whatever it is. What she will do, mom will check the quality of the spicy things, achi masala or whatever it is, whether it has some what I can say, that is it a good state or it is expired. She will do a cross check on the whatever we are buying on the outside of our home preparation. So kind of whenever we are developing a website, even though our internal development team is developing a code in C or Python or PHP, we will take some modules from the market easily available. For example, nowadays everything is a plug and play. We can say it as a microservices, which means login page, separate code would be there. We will drag and drop the login page functionality. That code is designed. So kind of whatever the other than our development process, if you are taking from the outside of our company codes, we call it as a third party libraries or jar files or DLL or exe. We call it as a third party issues, which means if the website is hacked based on the login page which I was drag and drop from the some other site, I call it as a third party related risk. So before going to production or going to live, I have to also take care of the third party items which we have copy and pasted. Okay. The fifth item, manage access to the critical assets, which means yes, we have intranet and intranet websites in a college. Intranet will be accessible only inside the college, whereas internet, which is accessible from the outside college. In that perspective, whatever the data we are accessing from outside of the college and that server or website is dealing any sensitive information. For example, a college website have a page called semester fees paying pages. That asset we call it as a risk asset. That asset we need to manage as a critical asset in our checklist. Okay. And sixth item, establish a cyber security policy. And the seventh item, build an incident response plans, which means the 6 and 7 are information security standard. Up to 5, it is a cyber security, whereas 6 and 7 is a information security. Establish a cyber security policy, which means I have to create a policy, whatever I am developing, and I have to follow the policy. Based on the policy and standards only, I have to develop the product or project or websites. This is the sixth point. And whereas the seventh point, build an incident response plan, which means incident. Whenever the website is hacked or the data breaches is happened, as I told, there was a two team, one is cybersecurity and information security. Information security team will handle this incident response plan, which means our MSI website is hacked, and tomorrow morning we are planned to establish a result for the final year persons. Okay, it was hacked tomorrow, but anyway we have to establish the result because it was an order from the government. What our next plan? So these things will be already pre-planned, and it was being built in the incident plan, which means on the 7th step it was already built up, and if something is happened like this, we have an alternate web server and app server that we will up and run that, and we will push all the data to the new server so that that website is available for the end users to see the results of that page. So kind of we have a secondary backup option, and whenever this incident is happen, we will go with the second option, which is called as an incident response plan, or we can call it as a backup and recovery, we can see. Okay, so kind of each and every other industries also have some plans. So when we talk about HIPAA, HIPAA have a set of checklists to be done before and after the application development or moving to the production. Technical production, we have to encrypt and authenticate the EPHI, which means EPHI means whatever the data, the patient data are available on the portal, we have to encrypt and store it. Whenever we need, the authenticated person only able to access it. And we have to, even though, what is the second point here? Control and log access changes to EPHI means, for example, sometime, as I told you, some inside hackers will do also wrong things. For example, you feel that I was a trusted person to Manan Ministry, and you are allowing me to take a webinar and everything. But when I come to the inside of the university using a Wi-Fi, I will get into our environment and I will try to hack your websites. So, which means you people make me an authorized person, but I have did a wrong thing. So, to monitor this and identify who is done what, we have a control and log access to be maintained, which means if something has happened, we have to go and check the logs, and we can easily identify this person is coming from outside, and we have given this authentication. Based on this authentication only, this person did a hacking on our websites. So this kind of log and control access we have to maintain. So kind of we have lot of checklist and compliance are available in each and every industries. Physical protection we have to say, which means we have a separate register which should be in place on the company office outside. For example, if someone outside visitors are coming, they have to make a entry, and who is coming from what and which place, we have to make a register kind of thing. And administrative protection, HIPAA breach notification, and HIPAA omnibus rules do. These two things again comes to a information security. Rest, all the above things are more into a cyber security perspectives. And industrial and industrial and manufacturing domains. So on this domain, I can easily show on the ground level, all the machines would be there, and all the machines are based on sensors and ICs and advanced robotics mechanisms. So all the data, whatever the machines will do, that will go to the manufacturing execution system. From that, it will go the IoT platform, which means what I said earlier discussion, IIoT, which means industrial IoT, Internet over the things. And from that, it will go to the real-time monitoring systems and artificial intelligence and machine learning, which means what data should go outside the market and what data should not go to the outside markets. Those kind of data analytics and machine learnings will be done at this level, and it will also finally it will go and store on the cloud computing. These automobiles also have some standards. I don't want to make again the same kind of standards and cyber security. That's why what exactly they will do, that's why I have implemented this diagram here. But in all the stages, we have a security should be implemented in all the stages. And e-commerce is a current area. So what we have spoken, some Srinivas Rao, some person is asked what we have to take a necessary action to protect our servers or laptops. So harden the server with the some sort of software, server secure pulse software, and PCI compliant server setup, which means we have to follow this PCI compliant standards, and backup, which means backup and recovery of all the logs and other mechanisms. And we have firewalls, hardware and firewalls to make sure our data should be protected from the external attackers, and encrypt the transactions or the data transmission over the from the client to server in the SSL certificate, which means whatever the websites dealing the sensitive information or the end user details, that website should only run on HTTPS. That's what I'm trying to say on this last item. Okay, and the last but not the least, last slide, the top 10 cybersecurity practice that we need to follow in our home and also whatever the prospective industries we are working, even if it is a college or a hospital, or if it is a IT industry, whatever it is, we have to follow the 10 best practice to take care of the outside attacker to gain into our system or into our home, which means managing and user privileges, which means we have to, for example, in your home there are 5 members, so you will have 5 keys to your home. But someone is coming from outside of your home, you should not give a key to the unknown person, and you should not allow them to if you are not there in the home. So kind of manage a user and it's their privileges. That is means managing and user privileges. Incident management. If something is happened on our home, what we will do, how it is happened, and what things we need to take to should not happen in the future. That we will discuss in the incident management, which means incident response and disaster recovery capability. Test your incident management plans, provide a specialist training, report a criminal incident to the law enforcement. For example, something is happened on our home, we have to complain to the police, and we will file the FIR cases on whatever it is action, and we will take a necessary action that should not happen in the future. Also monitoring. Even though we are taking a necessary actions for the future, we will do also the live monitoring. For example, we will set up cameras outside of our home and all the compound walls and everything, right? The kind of monitoring should be available on all the stages, even it is a home or college or website, everything. For website, banking websites, there should be a separate team called 24/7 team called support team. That they will do keep on monitoring about the website strength and feasibility. And home and mobile networking, as we discussed, we have to update. Nowadays, water heater is an IoT device, and we have a AC is an IoT. Nowadays, all the devices are connected to Alexa or some other voice over mechanism. Okay, so those devices need to be updated properly, and those devices need to be monitored properly, okay, on our home. And network security, which means we have to properly place the network firewall rules, switch rules, and also we have to place a proper antivirus and all those things. User education awareness. Even though if we have placed all the security mechanism, we have to do at least 3 months once or 6 months once, we have to create a user awareness training and education in our company for all the employees, not to store the passwords in your desktop, not to write the passwords or sensitive information on your leaflet pads. These kind of things we will do a awareness to the people. And also do not open the phishing emails, do not open the malware affected attachment documents. Kind of we will give a awareness training to the teams. Also malware preventions, which means we have to take care of our antivirus and other mechanism to be placed on our laptops or servers or our industries. And removable media controllers. Even though we have all those things, but we will miss out in small things, which means we have installed antivirus, we have do a continuous monitoring, but we are missed to disable the USB gadget plug and play options in our laptop or server. That removable device will make a system or a server vulnerable or infected by malwares and other virus. So we have to make control on that also. The final one is security configuration, which means so we have to properly apply a patches and we have to take the necessary actions on the security, whatever product, project, or the our household things also, we have to take care of it properly. So that's it from the industrial perspective and also with the our day-to-day activity on IoT devices also. So any questions or anything? If I make you more bored, I'm sorry. It's a very dry subject because we have taken a webinar kind of a thing. We are not taken a live practical session. Okay, so that's why I hope so I will not make you people not bored or sleepy. Thanks for your patience. If you have any questions, please drop it out in a message or you can raise it. Thank you, Reshmi. Sorry, thank you, Reshmi. Thank you so much. So, as I told you, I'm a part of Manonmaniyam Sundaranar University. At least yearly once, I will go and I will take 2 days or 3 days of classes in Manonmaniyam Sundaranar University for the final year cybersecurity team. In that way, this chance was given by Jayapriya ma'am. I am very much thankful to Jayapriya ma'am and Kumar sir. Okay, so yes, so I will come from the. Okay, is AI helps in cybersecurity? Yes, absolutely. Artificial intelligence. Okay, for example, I will take a tool. Everyone knows Nmap or whatever it is tool, cybersecurity tool. What it will do? It will do the scan. It will identify the vulnerability. Okay. What nowadays we are doing, we will make the tool more intelligence when compared to the man. Okay. In that, what we will do, if you are identifying that server is vulnerable and it is open 80 port, what you have to do, you have already patches available on your server. Just push that patch through the server and close the issue. So kind of we will automate that cybersecurity tools to the next level. In that way, AI is help us in the cybersecurity. Okay. Next question. What is PCI DSS? PCI standards, Payment Card Industry Standards, which means it have a 12 classes. So what it will do, as I told you, IRCTC website was developed by a previous company called FSS. On the last page of payment action, after you have did a ticket confirmation and everything, you will do a payment on the last page. On that page, what you will do, you will give your card number, CVV, and PIN. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to store the data in a secure way. Okay. If you are not storing the data securely, if someone is hacked our server, what they will do, they will take your card number and CVV and PIN, and they will do a transaction on behalf of you. Okay. To avoid that, this PCI standard will do a lot of policy and procedure, which means you have to store the credentials or whatever the card number CVV in a safe mechanism, and also you have to implement a two-factor authentication. Okay, that also is described in the PCI standard, which means if I'm going to click a submit button after giving a credentials, card number and CVV, it should ask a OTP or a security questions to proceed the payment action. Those kind of rules or checklist was available on the PCI standards. Okay, got many data about HIPAA. Sorry, I didn't get. Is it a question or which means I have given a more information on the HIPAA side? You can just reply Sanju Sukumaran. Okay, as we know, the precaution such as HTTPS or to check the local symbols, is it completely secure to do online transactions? Okay, you should always, the best practice is that you should not directly go and use the existing. For example, what I will do, I will go here. I should not click directly this one for the net banking. If my computer is affected by malware, this also will affect it. This browser cookies and browser whatever the stored information will also affected by the malware. So what I have to do on each and every time, I have to go to Google. I have to search HDFC net banking customer login page. So what it will do, it will avoid this kind of attacks. Even though if we have a proper antivirus or whatever it is, I have an antivirus called Symantec endpoint protection, everything. Even though I have to go this way. And also you have to look for the certificates. See here, certificate is issued by HDFC Blank Limited. If some certificate is issued by some other thing, then you will see the not a proper one. I will show you the live scenario. This is a oh sorry. Okay. Sorry, the tool is not available now. What I will do? I will take this tool. This is one of the cybersecurity hacking tool. So to evaluate the strength of website. Okay. To do that, I will always use the Firefox website browser to do the testing activity. Let me just show you the settings. Manual proxy settings. So now what happened? What I'm doing, I will not directly go and connect it to the internet. Instead of, I have my own tool. That tool will catch all my request and response what I'm doing on the my browser. Okay, then after it will go to the internet or whatever the respective websites, which means Gmail or whatever it is. Okay, so I have now 127 local host and 8080 ports. The same I am going to configure here. No need to close it. So here settings. Port scan, local proxies. Okay. Here what I will do, 127, even it is a local host also, not a problem. So what I will do, I have to change it to 8080. Now I have changed. So it is updating everything. but sometimes it will take some time. Going to save this option. Sorry, there was an issue with my tool right now. So yes, so if you have gone through a wrong website or which doesn't have a proper valid certificate, what it will do, let me go through the same area. Here you can't able to see the proper certificate. Instead of, if I am going to use a Burpsuite or Zap, I can able to see the certificate of Burpsuite or Zap, whatever the tool which I have in that certificate. In that area, you can able to see that your PC or your laptop is affected by some sort of malware or kind of an issue. Okay. Okay, so which specific topic of cybersecurity we can go for further PhD? Okay, for the PhD, I can suggest to go with the cryptography. It is a very vast and very good topic because everything nowadays is not secure. To make it secure, either you have to make encrypted or hashing. To do that, you have to be very good on cryptographic area. So as part of the PhD, if you go with the cryptographic, then it would be a very good chance for you. Any specific Indian standards for cybersecurity? Yeah, ISO 27001. That is the specific standards that we will follow. What are the threats available in cyberspace nowadays? How can we avoid those threats? That is the last slides. Whatever mistakes we are doing on the day-to-day life or in the industries, if you are missing to update the systems, then that is also a threat. For example, my system is up to date. Okay. For example, system update. For updates. So my system is up to date. Okay, so it doesn't have any outdated version or not. To avoid from our laptop to the whatever the industries we are working, we have to be up to date, even ourselves and also the laptop or server or mobile device, to avoid the live threat in the market. Okay, I think almost I have covered all the 1.5 hours, and I see almost all the 100% participants are available. I will not make more bore or more sleepy. It's over to you, sir. Krishan sir or Kumar sir or Jaya ma'am. Wonderful. Okay, thank you. So let me stop presenting my screen sharing. So it's over to the admin team.
Any questions? Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
The questions are there. Shall we conclude?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Srinivasan, sir, it was an...
Thank you, Professor Srinivasan. Yes.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, as HOD sir highlighted, like it was a wonderful presentation and it was very informative. And of course, participants were very interactive with their doubts, questions, and you have clarified. Hopefully, I think you have clarified their doubts also. Thank you for your presence here, sir. Thank you very much. On behalf of the our department and university, Manonoman Sundarnar University, we are very thankful to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Participants,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
participants kindly fill the feedback form, and as per our team given the instruction in the chat box, do mention your name, perfect name in the email ID, like what are the email ID you are using for the Google Meet. So specify your name very correctly so that we can give the attendance correctly. Thank you, participants. We will meet again at exactly 2 o'clock.